Money is rarely what we think it is. We often treat it as a physical object, a coin, a note, a gold bar. But philosophically, money is the invisible architecture of human coordination. It is the system we use to encode trust, to bridge the gap between today's labour and tomorrow's dreams, and to decide collectively what is worth doing. In 2026, we are witnessing the Great Abstraction. As money migrates from tangible tokens into decentralized ledgers and AI-managed algorithms, we aren't just changing our currency, we are changing the language of value itself. Today, we deconstruct the shift from currency to computation and ask, in an age of digital abundance, what does it truly mean to be wealthy? 1. The Epistemology of Trust, from scarcity to consensus. Historically, the value of money was rooted in physical scarcity, gold, silver, or land. In the 20th century, we shifted to fiat, a system backed by the perceived strength and military might of the nation-state. In 2026, we have entered the era of consensus value, the depth. We are moving away from trusting an institution toward trusting the math. Cryptographic transparency allows us to verify the integrity of a system without needing to see the vault. This is a move from blind trust to verifiable truth. The positive outlook. This isn't a loss of stability, it's an upgrade. By removing the single point of failure, the human intermediary, we create a global economic layer that is more resilient to local corruption. Trust is no longer a leap of faith. It is a mathematical certainty that moves at the speed of light. 2. Programmable logic, encoding ethics into infrastructure. In 2026, money is no longer a passive medium. It is intelligent. Through smart contracts, we are now capable of giving money instructions. The depth. Traditionally, money is neutral. It doesn't care if it's being used to build a school or a weapon. Programmable money changes this. We can now create value streams that are condition-dependent and self-executing. The solution. Rather than a surveillance state, this offers a path to automated virtue. Imagine a system where green credits are automatically issued for sustainable choices, or where humanitarian aid is distributed instantly when specific environmental triggers are met. We are finally building a financial system that aligns our incentives with our impact, making the right thing the most efficient thing. 3. The AI-Wealth Nexus, navigating market complexity. As we analysed in our work on energy sovereignty, energy is the fuel. But in 2026, AI is the navigator. We have reached a point where the speed of global trade exceeds human cognition. The complexity. Algorithms now manage risk, liquidity, and asset allocation at a planetary scale. The markets are no longer just human emotions. They are high-speed feedback loops of data. The opportunity. While some fear the black box, the positive evolution here is predictive resilience. AI can identify systemic risks, like a potential bank run or a supply chain failure, before they trigger a crash. We are using machine intelligence to smooth out the jagged edges of human greed and panic, creating a more stable foundation for global growth. 4. Fractional ownership, shattering the glass floor. In our analysis of the glass floor, we discussed how asset ownership has traditionally been the gatekeeper of the elite. In 2026, tokenization is finally breaking that gate. The reasoning. In the old world, wealth was lumpy. If you couldn't afford an entire apartment building or a multi-million-pound startup, you were locked out. The vision. Fractional ownership allows a person in a mobility cold spot to own a 1/1000th share of a solar farm or a high-tech lab. We are moving from a world of renters versus heirs to a world of universal micro-equity. This doesn't just redistribute wealth, it redistributes stake in the future, giving everyone a reason to want the system to succeed. 5. Temporal ethics, regenerative versus extractive finance. Finance has historically been a tool for colonizing the future through debt, pulling tomorrow's value into today's consumption. In 2026, we are reclaiming the future through regenerative finance, ReFi. The problem: traditional debt is an extractive claim on future labour, often leading to a cycle of depletion. The positive pivot: ReFi protocols use digital assets to fund public goods, things like carbon sequestration, community healthcare, and open source education, that pay dividends back to the ecosystem. It turns money from a burden on the next generation into an investment in their health. It is the shift from short-term gain to long-term flourishing. 6. The identity economy, data as the new collateral. In the age of digital finance, your most valuable asset isn't just your cash, it is your digital identity and reputation. The depth. Historically, the unbanked stayed unbanked because they lacked a credit score or physical collateral. In 2026, decentralized identity protocols allow people to leverage their social and data capital. The value. This creates a more inclusive form of meritocracy. If you have a proven track record of contribution, reliability, and skill within a digital network, the system can grant you access to capital without a traditional bank manager's permission. It is the democratization of credit, based on what you do, not who you know. 7. The meta-ethics of wealth, the sovereignty of time. Ultimately, the philosophy of money brings us to a moral mirror. Is wealth a pile of digits, or is it something more? The 2026 definition. We are seeing a global shift where wealth is being redefined as resilience and time. The synthesis. As we explore in The Trade Paradox, the world is no longer a friction-free market. In this fortress economy era, true wealth is the ability to sustain your community and your family without being beholden to fragile global supply chains. It is the sovereignty of the mind, the freedom to think and act beyond the next bill cycle. 8. Philosophical ontology, money as a collective ritual. What is money in its essence? Philosophers call it a performative speech act. Like the phrase, "I do" at a wedding, money only works because we all collectively agree that it does. The evolution. In 2026, as we integrate AI and quantum computing into our financial architecture, we are upgrading the ritual. We are moving from a ritual of debt and scarcity to a ritual of contribution and consensus. We have the opportunity to rewrite the social contract so that it serves the human spirit, treating money as a tool for flourishing rather than a tool for dominance. 9. Dematerialized wealth, the shift to intangible value. As we move further into 2026, we are realizing that the most valuable things in our economy are increasingly intangible. The depth. In a world of 3D printing and automated manufacturing, the physical stuff becomes cheaper, while the intellectual property, algorithms, and communities become the real stores of value. The logic wealth in 2026 is found in the code and the culture. Digital finance allows us to capture and trade this intangible value in ways that were impossible in the era of paper. We are learning how to value the invisible, knowledge, creativity, and connection, which are the only resources that grow the more we use them. 10. The sovereignty of imagination, the permissionless future. To take the argument to its ultimate depth, money governs what is thinkable. If a project cannot find funding, we often believe it is impossible. The final argument. In 2026, we are realizing that money doesn't just allocate capital, it allocates possibility. By moving to a digital, programmable, and decentralized architecture, we are removing the imagination gatekeepers. The future vision. We are entering a permissionless economy. If a community can imagine a solution, they can program the value stream to make it a reality. True wealth is not the accumulation of bits, it is the expansion of what is possible for humanity. Conclusion. The new language of progress. The philosophy of money is the study of how we value one another. As we navigate the digital frontiers of 2026, we must remember that the technology is just the pen. We are the authors. The future of wealth isn't found in a colder, more clinical world of numbers. It's found in a more human world of empowerment and resilience. We invite you to look back at our work on the trade paradox and the glass floor to see how these forces are converging to redefine our status. Our question for you is this: if money is the language of human coordination, what story do you want your wealth to tell? Are you building a fortress of individual safety, or are you constructing a bridge to a more resilient collective future? Let's build that future together. Stay informed, stay resilient, and stay wise. We'll see you in the next analysis.